And in this exciting episode, I get over my emotional tantrum, cut the air down to fit, and get busy on the bonnet. Right, late that night again. Give myself a kick in the nuts to cheer myself up. Anyway, happy news. I'm going to cut down there with Mr. Zub to be able to push the hole and backwards. And it's going to fit beautifully, it's going to shape beautifully, and the world will be a wonderful place once more. Yeah, you can see that sticks out a bit more, but I think proportionately that's in the right place now, and it ties in quite nicely with the original bonnet, which is where I wanted it to be. Okay, you rejoin me. I broke my camera, so I didn't manage to film this bit. I'll be using the rasp to shape this down, sander and sanding block. And well, I'm going to get this side shaped to where I want it. Then I'm going to do some clever stuff to mirror it. More of that later. Here you can see me rasping away to shape it, sanding it, etc. Really interested to watch an artisan do it. Less interested to watch me, so I'm just going to hit warp speed and get through this for you. No, it's still too tedious to watch. I'm going to cut to the end results. Oh, hang on. This is a good bit. I'm trying to make sure that the drop down the side is going to be the same at each edge because it's a compound curve. Curves from the back of the bonnet to the front and from the side to the side. So the two sides should drop the same. Worth noting this bit. Basically, balance a piece of wood, measure the drop down, mark it, and we can use that to do the other side. So I now have the drop between the centre line and the edge, and I've discovered you can't really write on foam with a black Sharpie, but those measurements give me the measurements I need to drop that edge where the blue tape is. Quick bit of rasping gets the rough shape and the edges to the same height. Now I'm going to make the rest of the bonnet symmetrical. And here we have Nick's amazing symmetricalizer. So the symmetricalizer has left 1, 2, 3 test marks, and they've gone round. They've shown they rub here, but they rub more on that side, so that side needs to come down. And finally, after much more sanding than you could possibly be interested in, I think we have an approximately symmetrical bonnet, at least side to side. This needs some filling here, but I'm going to build some kind of flange for that. So what I'm going to do next is sort this edge out. To do that, I'm going to get this bit of plastic, glue that under there to form a nice flat base, then glue another bit sideways to give me a nice straight edge, then fill the gap with foam. I've made the barrier for the foam, 2 bits of the plastic and some 3M tape. I then use hot glue to do the seam. Not sure why, but the guys on YouTube do it, so I guess it must be a thing. Next, fill it with foam. So there we have the expanding foam pushing out those moulds. And this is what that looks like in the morning. So, quick trial fit onto the car, and I want to make sure this line's nice and smooth, so marked it up using my wonderful flexible measuring tool, which is the slat off a set of blinds. As if by magic, that side's cut. I now need to make sure this side curves exactly the same. You can see where it doesn't. And the wonderful IKEA paper tapes should help me measure around the curve of the body. That's the bonnet symmetrical. Just down here I've had to put a patch on because that bit there was narrower than there. I didn't want that. It doesn't look too bad. Obviously there's going to be quite a lot of shaping on that. But before I do any of that, some glass over there just to save the foam. I apply epoxy to the foam. It really soaks it up, but it will mean the glass will have something to stick to. Then lay the glass over the top of that, wet it in properly, and afterwards I'll roller it. It takes bloody ages. Did you know the DS had the largest body panel in production when they put this bonnet on? Certainly felt like it when I was doing this. Anyway, you're not interested in watching an hour of this stuff, so I'm going to just cut to the end result again. So, early on a sunny morning, and we have a fiberglass top. That's actually gone quite well. Now, I just spend hours putting that and that on there to give a beautiful body filler finish. I've got a feeling this is going to take a while. There we go. We've got our first real thin skim of filler over it. It's not even 9 o'clock. Well, hey. Going to let that go off. That's more or less just to give the rest of the filler something to bond to. Mixing this up, 100 grams of resin at a time, then add the filler. That just about fills that cup full. It gives about the right amount to work to before it dries up. So if you need quantities, I mix everything up, either 50 or 100 grams of resin, and then the hardener to match. Well, it's silly early Sunday morning. The skim coat's dry. Give it a quick blast over with some 40 grit, just to key in the surface, take off the worst of the lumps. Now I'm going to go over, give it a slightly thicker coat, mainly to kind of fill in the big holes and craters. 2 hours later, and there's a thicker coat of body filler on it. Takes bloody ages when you're mixing it up, a cup at a time. I guess I should have got big cups, but hey, it's Sunday morning, I can't be asked. Anyway, leave that to go for a day. I'm off to see what the world holds. Turns out the rest of the world holds the X-Free car show. So lots of photos of Citroen DS before returning to the garage. Okay, so we've got bonnet on. That's been sanded roughly back. It's not smooth. It's more like Steve Wonder's fan mail, but yeah, I'm going to leave this roughly finished so I can go on the wing. It's a sunny bank holiday Monday, so it should be raining about 2 o'clock when the barbecue starts, but it gives me a couple of hours to at least try and work out how to get this wing on, and then that'll all be the next video. But for now, like, subscribe, blah blah blah. Cheers guys.